After a long slumber, the spirit of the sea Tempoross has awoken to wreak havoc on the deep seas in the south of Gielinor. The only thing stopping Tempoross from causing mass destruction are the spirit anglers, a group of fishermen from Al-Kharid, and you, the players of RuneScape. To start this guide, let's take a look at how to get to Tempoross and the requirements to fight it. The fight against Tempoross begins in the ruins of Unka on the southwest coast of the Kharidian Desert. The easiest method to get there is to take the ferry just southwest of Al-Kharid. Otherwise, you can also teleport to the ancient pyramid with the Pharaoh's scepter, use the Camulet to teleport to Inakra's temple, or in the worst case scenario, take the magic carpets to Menaphos and run northwest to get there. Once you've made your way to the ruins, there's only one real requirement to begin: 35 fishing. Now there are some gear requirements. You will also need a harpoon. Any type will work, but the dragon, infernal, or the crystal are your best bets if you have them. You'll also need a rope and a hammer. Now if you aren't using an equipable harpoon, I'd recommend going for the Mkando hammer if you have one to save an inventory spot, but it's not necessary. As far as clothing goes, wearing the angler outfit will net you a bit more experience per hour, and you can eventually upgrade it to the spirit angler outfit, which allows you to tether yourself to the totems without bringing rope. Now this guide isn't targeted towards max experience per hour or mass world players, and also isn't targeted towards players who have never done a game of Tempoross before. This guide is specifically showing my method for getting 11 or 12 permits per game while playing solo, and assumes you are familiar with the basics of this boss. You'll basically be able to get 1 permit per minute once you get the hang of it. For this method, you'll need the gear we just talked about, as well as 4 buckets of water, so your inventory should look something like this. Either way, make sure to have at least 21 open inventory slots. When you start a solo game, you'll always be on the same boat, so you know exactly which side of the island you'll spawn on. Run down to the shore and start fishing the blue tiles. Eventually a green tile will appear, and you should switch over to that, since they give you a chance for double fish. Fish until your inventory is full, and then head to the stove to cook them all up. While doing this, keep an eye out for the colossal wave that comes in. Being hit by this colossal wave will stun you, and you'll lose some of your items, so tether yourself to the totem pole when you see it coming. Once all your fish are cooked, it's time to douse the fires on the island and head to the cannons on the ship. Make sure to shoot exactly 17 fish. This should bring Tempoross down to 4% energy. Now head back to the shore. This time, keep an eye on the storm intensity gauge in the top left corner, and when it hits 80%, you want to head back to the stove to cook until 93%, which should allow you enough time to get back to the cannons. Here you want to shoot 15 fish before heading down to the docks to start attacking the fish pool. You should get his HP down to around 50% before he emerges. Start fishing again until the colossal wave comes in. Afterwards, you'll want to start cooking your fish until the storm clouds roll in again. As soon as they start coming in, head back to the ship and shoot 4 fish. Now your numbers may vary a bit depending on your fishing level and how many fish you caught before the first attack. Just make sure that Tempoross is down to at least 10% energy, although I personally find 4% better. Getting Tempoross down to at least 10% prevents him from using his special attacks, and this is where my strategy really shines. Make sure to douse the fire on the ship, as well as all the fires close to the dock, leaving 1 fire so that it can spread on the island. Fill up your inventory with fish and cook them before heading back to the ship to shoot 19 fish. It's important that you put enough fish into the cannon to get his energy back down to the 10% mark the next time he emerges. That way you can keep the fires on the island. Head back down to the dock and attack Tempoross until he emerges again. Fill your inventory with buckets of water and go nuts. Put out all the fires you can see and refill your buckets before heading to the other side of the island and doing the same. Now you want to pay close attention here to make sure that 1, you don't run into the fires and lose some of your items, and 2, that you have enough water buckets to get to the water pump on the other side. That way you can continue fighting fires after you make it over there. Around 75 to 80% storm intensity, you'll want to make your way to the boat, where you'll begin the final assault on Tempoross. Put in your final fish, and then continue putting out fires before finally attacking Tempoross and ending the fight. As you can see, I was able to get 12 permits in just over 12 minutes. This method can be a bit intense, and RNG can sometimes change your pathing, but the method is very consistent overall. As long as you don't get hit by the fire, that is. Now rinse and repeat until you get all the rewards permits that you want. Once you're ready to collect your rewards, you can head over to the reward pool just south of the main dock. Here's a quick list of the rewards you can expect. Now obviously the fish barrel, dragon harpoon, and the pet are some very big draws here. You can also expect tons of fish, and some other potentially useful items. Alright, so that's my method for Tempoross. I'm playing on a locked account and aiming for 8,000 reward points here right now, so there will be things in here that apply to me more than they may apply to you. Luckily, the method is very flexible. Bringing an Infernal Harpoon, the Spirit Angler outfit, and or runes for Humidify could significantly increase your points and experience per hour. Increasing your fishing level will have an impact as well, of course. In conclusion, give my method a try, and then adapt it a bit as needed for you. The amount of fish I shoot out of the cannons should probably remain consistent, but you may be able to speed up the rounds or get more points from fires, based on what gear you have available to you. Good luck on your Tempoross grinds, and may RNGesus be with you.